Oh, wow, finally. Hey, everybody. Ah, Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Merry Christmas. Leslie Plazz here. December 26, 2021. Last report. Last Zazoo Plazz report of 2021. And found myself a nice little spot here. No police car today, just the snow plow. We had some snow here. See, we had some snow here in Connecticut. Oh boy, look at this! Lots of snow. There's ice, kind of icy in the woods. Ponds over there, and oh boy, it's like perfect snowman snow. It sticks together. See? Look at that. I didn't get out here in time. It's like 4:30. Dilly-dallied too much. I had a nice late breakfast, healthy waffles, and a little bit of the Christmas cinnamon swirl bread was left over. And some coffee. Way too much coffee the past couple of days. And then, oh, that's nice. It's plain. Oh God, here's the people with the twin golden retrievers. I know them. Anyway, yeah, I'm over there. School's over there. It's nice. I put my lantern on this little fence here. Got a little fence. You're probably like, who's that over there? I got the water gurgling in the background. It's perfect. Wearing my new Christmas hat. One of the two that I picked out when I was with my husband in the TJ Maxx. And then, so he says, well, maybe Santa will get it for you. And then I was on my own and I find a lilac one. It's a Steve Madden hat. Really nice and cozy, warm, and keeps my head warm and my ears. The other one that I had was way more expensive, but my ears were cold. It had a little pom-pom on the top, which was kind of nice, but I was always like this. So now I'm nice and cozy, and it matches my gloves that I got myself last year. These are nice gloves. These are from online somewhere. But so I bought myself the lilac hat. I stuck it in my stocking. Or I don't know, I gave it to somebody to give to me, one of the boys or something. No, I think I gave it to, I don't know. I bought some socks and I put them in my own stocking. That's kind of like where I'm going. I'm watching Mr. Bean and I'm thinking, I want to incorporate a little bit of Mr. Bean, his philosophy in my own life. Because rather than rely on anyone else to make him happy, he makes his own entertainment, It's not that he hurts anybody else. It's just that he doesn't get involved in people's dramas, He doesn't rely on the people around him for his happiness and his contentment with life. He, and I think that's good. I think that's how I want to live my life. I've spent way too long, looking to other people. And this ties into my report today, which is about family. The Holy Family is, the church readings today, the traditional Catholic Church. So I take a little flavor of that. And I find that even before looking at the readings, my mind goes there anyway. It's like I have a psychic sense, or an intuitive sense, if you will, about the time of year and the liturgical year and the message. So today I woke up thinking about, of course we're all thinking about family. We're in the midst of this Christmas season and whatever holiday you celebrate. It's we're all crammed together in the house and it's too cold to go outside and, run around and scream. Get out our yayas. Although I'm out here anyway. I have to admit, that I have a great family that I've created for myself, and a great, I wanted for nothing growing up. I had a good upbringing, and all the values and all that. But once you get to be a little older, some of those things come under more scrutiny as you realize, what's going on there? And that kind of stuff. I happen to be a very sensitive person there, so other people would look at my life and say, you had a charmed life. But to me, everyone's perspective is different, and I've come to understand that. So when I offer my perspective on life, it's really for your entertainment. It's merely things that I've noticed that are funny because they seem at odds with my worldview. So take that as it may. I'm not here to insult anyone's religion or anything like that. So I was thinking, oh, it's dangerous. So it's about the Holy Family, and I love that, except, and I'm not going to talk about the women obeying your husband's part and the whole thing, because, you can't take these readings at face value anymore. They were written in a time and place where they were taken a certain way, and now, now it's a different time. But the reading that I really always enjoyed was where Jesus breaks away from his parents. They take him up to Jerusalem to be, it's like confirmation, to be offered to the temple, and, when he's old enough or whatever. It's like his bar mitzvah or whatever. He's about 12. And they're on their way home, and I said, wait, I thought you had Jesus. No, I thought you had him. Now, he went back, and he was in the temple, asking questions and hanging out with the rabbis and stuff. Now, that would have been me. Except, in my case, I was 5, and my parents took me to the Big E, which is a fair, big fair here in New England. And they were terrified because they each thought I was with them. They had taken me on the merry-go-round, and then we went to see the sheep. And between the merry-go-round and the sheep, I was 5 years old. It was about 1970. They said, oh no, where's Leslie? So what they didn't know is that I still had a ticket for the merry-go-round, and I wasn't about to move on until I had my last ride. So they found me. They backtracked, and they found me on the merry-go-round, going around and around, having a great time. It's kind of fitting for this year that we're closing. It's been kind of a merry-go-round, up and down and all around. So, they're like, oh, we were so worried about you. Where do you think I would be? 5-year-old. I found the lure of the merry-go-round was irresistible. Horses, all those planets in Sagittarius. I had horses and play, moving. I didn't want to go see the sheep. I'm not a sheep. I wanted to ride the merry-go-round again. You gotta think like a child. See? That's also in the Bible. But anyway, I offer this for your entertainment. Perhaps when you were a child, at some point, your parents lost you. I mean, it happens. It happens to the best of parents. You all have one of those heart-stopping moments when your child, when they're mobile, you can't find them. One time I lost track of the boys. I was in Target, and they were older. They were, older elementary or middle, and they thought they had lost me. So they had me paged. They had gone to look at the toys or something, and I was looking at the housewares, or I was distracted. It happens to even Mary and Joseph lost Jesus. Okay, but anyway, that's just a parenting perspective. But I mean, if you think about it, you know, um, how you interpret that story says a lot about you too. Do you feel for Mary as the mother, like, oh, or Joseph, like all I had to do was raise God's son, and I couldn't do it. Oh no, God is gonna, I lost Jesus. All I had to do was this one thing: keep this kid safe. So, and then they find him, with a bunch of old men asking questions. Okay, so that was kind of like me. Like, I wanted to be when I was a kid around older people and ask them questions. But the people around me, they didn't have time for me. I don't have time for that. Go to the library. I spent hours in the library. And I had priests and nuns all around me growing up, but they didn't seem to know anything. I asked them questions. So why? My son says to me, "Mom, I went to mass on Christmas." He said, "But the sermon." He said, the priest, it's like he just read it. He said it was like the corporate, newsletter. It was just, he said, it didn't inspire me. I know. That's why I'm out here in the woods, inspiring myself. Hopefully other people will feel the same. But yeah, I don't go for that anymore because I know I'm going to be disappointed. They got nothing. I want to talk to people who know stuff. So this is what I did as a kid. I was constantly thirsting for knowledge. So of course that's where he would be. He's doing his father's work. He's following his north node. And mine is in Gemini, in the 9th house, which means, we got to thirst for knowledge. We got to thirst. What's that? We're hungry for knowledge. Anyway, there's a song, something about we gotta thirst. We gotta thirst for knowledge, or a thirst for something. We gotta thirst. I don't know. We'll look it up. But anyway, what I want to talk about more today is Jesus, because it's the reason for the season and all, and how you see Jesus. If you no matter if you're an atheist, no matter if you're Jewish, Catholic, Christian, Protestant, whatever, just kind of, when you think about the person Jesus, or the Christ light that fills all of us this time of year, right? That's what happens at the winter solstice. New energy, a new light comes in. It's our light. In the middle of the darkest season of the year, we get this influx of energy that fills us with hope and enthusiasm for the new year to come. So, on that note, I offer you Exhibit A. This is, well, I don't know if you can see. It's a little baby Jesus. This belongs to my mother-in-law, but it used to belong to her brother, who was a Catholic priest, Father H. Was my husband's uncle. So now he's no longer with us, but he was one of the co-celebrants of our wedding. Now, if you notice at this Jesus, he's got rubber bands holding him onto the little manger, onto this little thing. We also have little Jesuses that my sons like to, my youngest son, he'll hide it somewhere. He'll hide it behind a photo or behind, under a table or under a couch, something like that. And on Christmas Eve, after midnight, he brings out Jesus and he puts him in our little nativity set. And then both boys took turns, always moving the wise men and the camel, up until January 6th, which was my mother's birthday. And then they'd all be gathered around. So I said, wait a minute. I got up Christmas morning. I said, somebody put the wise men at the manger. They're not there yet. They're not there. They're supposed to be over here. I digress. So anyway, this is every year we have our family, Christmas morning. We open presents and this and that. We have our swirl bread. And then for dinner, my dad came this year and my mother-in-law came and she baked a cake. Now this isn't any ordinary cake. This is her annual Jesus cake. And what it is, it's a probably Duncan Hines or something like that. A yellow cake. Sometimes it's chocolate, sometimes it's yellow. This year it was yellow. With her homemade frosting, which some kind of yellow icing and sprinkles thrown on the top. And in the middle of the cake is baby Jesus in his little harness, surrounded by toothpicks, which have the effect of like a little swords. Reminded me of that tarot card, with the lady, and she's stuck to the fence. She's blindfolded, and she's got all those, she's tied onto the fence, and if she tries to move, she's going to impale herself on the. So, anyway, Jesus is in the middle of the cake with all the swords, the toothpick swords, stuck in the ground all around him. And I immediately felt sorry for baby Jesus because nobody deserves that, So, oh no. Okay, I'm here. I'm okay. All right. Okay. All right. I digress. So. Oh, I wonder if. Okay. Anyway, so I'm telling this story. So when we had our nice roast beef dinner and potatoes and carrots, and then we get, and I made my version of my mother's cherry cream pie, with graham cracker crust this year, instead of my mother's usual, Pillsbury pie crust, and it came out great, and a little mushy because I put the whipped cream on too soon and it kind of sunk in. You can't do that. Don't put the whoosh on before you're ready to eat because it'll sink down and, But anyway, so it was really good. And then we had to put out a beautiful spread. My oldest son, had a plaid shirt on and he matched the tablecloth, Christmas plaid. It was kind of funny. The dog had her little jingle collar on. She got a brand new bed for Christmas and a little pull toy, and I got a new laptop. So we're sitting there, we got the coffee and the carafe and the cashews and the little wrapped up chocolate peppermint patty mints. And then my mother-in-law says, we all had a little wine, just a little bit. And she says, it's time. We gotta sing Jesus happy birthday. So I look at my husband for reinforcement, but he is as serious, the utmost of seriousness, where this is concerned. So, he grew up with this. So I said, okay. Thinking, oh my gosh. Where I come from, the idea of Christmas being Jesus's birthday, like Jesus is some guy, from New Britain, Connecticut. That's where there was a large Polish American population, and there's still quite a few. But it's like Jesus is somebody that she pounds on the back and says, "How you doing?" So she had this picture of Jesus up in her kitchen. And when I first met my husband, I thought, God, he's looking at me. This is the old generation, right? So I think that she had him positioned so that if she was going where she'd sit at the table and she'd see Jesus looking at her, and if she was tempted to be mean to anybody or go in the fridge and get something, she'd see Jesus looking at her, and she put down the ice cream, and but now I don't know. But anyway, I guess that's what keeps her honest. That's her Jesus. And this is the Jesus that she wishes that she sings. So we got to all sing happy birthday to you. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that is so far from my image of Jesus that I can't even fathom it, because when I was growing up, there were no pictures of Jesus, and there was a crucifix, but it was hidden in your bedroom, and it wasn't hardly, maybe there was a little cross, but it was very plain, and it didn't have a body on it. It was just, very subtle. Anyway, so we sang happy birthday to Jesus, and we didn't light it, because the blowing on the cake thing. But anyway, I don't know why it bothers me so much. She's 92 years old. Let her have her Jesus cake and eat it, said Marie Antoinette, who was born on my birthday. I don't know. I guess I feel like I know that, the real historical Jesus was probably a Pisces. He was probably born in March, same as my husband. But then I look and I see that my mother-in-law has her midheaven in Pisces. So that means that, the Christ light, it's, that's how she's seen in the world. She's seen as this person who, goes out and helps people. But then she's got Virgo and the IC, which means, she's the domestic engineer in her own, house. But anyway, and it also means that because my husband's a Pisces, her whole life and her whole purpose was raising him. So this is what I'm dealing with, okay? I'm dealing with a man whose mother who is his mother's entire life's purpose, right? It's hard to be married to somebody who is so on such a pedestal. But anyway, I mean, he's a good person, and he's probably watching this. But my version of Jesus, I'm just going to say this. My Jesus, he's like the Sacred Heart. He's like the dude. I had a little card of him, and I stuck it in my minivan behind the little button that says Class of 22 from my kids' college. And he's just sitting up there, and he's traveling in the car. He likes the same music I like. He keeps me safe when I'm driving around, and we have adventures together, He's on the fridge. In fact, he's on the back of my mother's mass card from, when she died. And it's funny. It's the same Jesus that I hang with. He's and the song for the week, it's Your Own Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. Yes, Your Own Personal Jesus. 1989. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares, reach out and have faith, or something like that. That's the Jesus who travels with me. So my parents ended up selling the beach cottage that they owned for many years that we built, that our family had. And I was talking to my dad yesterday. Given that I have midheaven in Cancer, and that's the ocean, that's where I felt that was part of my identity. I used to take my friends there. It was really cool having a beach house. My mother got sick a few years ago, 3 years ago, and immediately she said to my dad, we got to sell the beach house. We got to get rid of it. And so within a couple of years, actually within a few months of that, my dad they found a buyer sight unseen. I mean, like the realtor just did the whole transaction while my parents were still in, they never went down to the beach again. They never went down to Rhode Island to close on their house. And I said yesterday, Dad, what happened to all my stuff that was in my bedroom? Because I had hanging on the wall, I had that poem, Footprints in the Sand, and the one where it says that you're walking on the beach with Jesus, right? And when you see one set of footprints, that's when he's carrying you. And that was my favorite poem, and it had the ocean, and it was on the wall in a nice little frame. And that I never got to get it. Whoever bought our house got all our stuff. The stupid duck that used to look at you when you're on the toilet that my mother put there, and the painting, the oil painting that my dad did of seagulls in a lighthouse. Because my youngest son, he's getting into painting now. And I said, gee, I wish you could see Papa's painting that he did in the beach house. That's how we got on the conversation. And my dad said, well, whatever, it's gone. And I said, okay. My Jesus was in that house. Think about it, no matter what faith you practice, everybody's got their own, I guess, personal Jesus. Even if his name isn't Jesus, if it's your own personal God, your own personal faith. So on that note, I'm looking at the stars, and I wish you all a very happy